Hello, everybody, and welcome to the episode of Sports with Mongha. We are back with an interesting video coming through from the driver market. Yes, that's just been going absolute bananas since the Monaco Grand Prix, and before that as well. Drivers making choices, teams making decisions, people falling out. Everything is happening in Formula One. If you're new to the channel, Sports with Mongha comes with a Fran's perspective, where I am kind of reviewing the races, predicting as well, and also being able to give you some of my insights from the world of Formula One as I consume that content from Formula One, from different podcasts and videos as well. And this is just a way of me to kind of express my opinion on what is happening. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. Thanks for watching, and let's get into it. The driver market is shaking up pretty well, with a lot of moving parts and a lot of decisions already being made. We know that still 8 open seats with the decisions already made. But that's the thing. Who has made the choices? The number one person who needs to make a choice is Carlos Sainz Jr. Yes, let's get into talking about him, what it means, where it kind of stands as well. Carlos Sainz Jr. was the first driver in 2024, like knowing that he doesn't have a seat and he needs to get a seat after Lewis Hamilton was announced by Ferrari as their second driver, or as their driver who will replace Carlos Sainz. What did that mean? It meant, like, what will happen next? Like, who will take Carlos Sainz? The seats available definitely all around the paddock for Mr. Sainz. But I think also the rumors started up regarding the fact that, in a way, the rumors of the Red Bull issues, the Red Bull Racing power struggle, how will that kind of end and what will eventually happen? But Carlos Sainz has still to decide the future. He still holds his options. He still kind of keeps it open. But then some decisions already made. Checo Perez has signed a 2-year deal with Red Bull Racing. It will make him run till the 2026 new regulations market in the Red Bull team. What also would kind of give you a sense of is that Red Bull is going for the safest pairing that they could think of without disrupting Max Verstappen as well, because the talk has been, guys, that Max Verstappen has been kind of thinking of his options over time after the issue with Helmut Marko or Charles or Christian Horner. But eventually, I think the safest bet for Red Bull was to not rock the boat completely by getting Carlos Sainz in the second seat. That could have been an option. That could have still made it possible. And that's what I'm trying to say. What happens now, guys? Carlos Sainz's door in Red Bull might be shut. Is it shut? Does Max Verstappen really hold on and not go to Mercedes? Because there's a lot of rumors as well. Like the second seat in Mercedes is also open, right, guys? Because you have George Russell, but then the second Mercedes seat, everybody's talking about Kimi Antonelli. But then that rookie didn't get the license to kind of actually get into Formula One immediately. And that's what's going to be the interesting thing. Does Max Verstappen hold out for the second Mercedes seat? They're making inroads. They're not doing great. Red Bull is the team to beat. Red Bull has got Red Bull has everything in place to run. But what does this mean for Mercedes? That's the big and the key question here. How does Mercedes react? Also, and how does interestingly Red Bull react to this? So there's a lot of kind of open questions still. Checo Perez signed a 2-year deal, 1 seat confirmed Red Bull, 1 seat not confirmed in Mercedes. Max Verstappen still holding his options. Carlos Sainz still holding his options. And then we have Ocon. Esteban Ocon has definitely been sidelined or has decided to part ways with Alpine at the end of the season. You could tell him goodbye with Bruno Famin, not kind of happy with his antics and his issues with his respective fellow drivers, which we have seen that it has happened in the past, that he's had issues with Perez in the Force India days, and you've seen issues with Fernando Alonso in Alpine, and then also now with issues coming with the number 10 driver, not Oscar Piastri, but Pierre Gasly. So I think Pierre Gasly definitely kind of moving into that zone. But then the last issue, the last episode with Monaco, kind of there's no kind of space that he still goes for the kill. It doesn't make sense to me. And I feel that's the end of it. That's where you wrap it up with him. I think he's heading to possibly Haas, because Haas also has a seat open after Nico Hülkenberg. Nico Hülkenberg. Yeah, I just like saying it. So I don't know. Sue me. Nico Hülkenberg decided to go to Audi, who will take over Sauber at the end of the season, and that's an interesting deal, almost done. Ocon is out. Pierre Gasly is the lead driver, and there's a seat open. Who goes to Alpine? That's a big question. Jack Doohan is their reserve driver, who possibly will be driving in Montreal, depending on this, how much driving actually gets because of the rain and stuff and so on. And that's what everybody will see and possibly understand from there. The main concern in my mind is definitely what is holding, because Alpine is not on a high, they're not going up. They're on a bad trajectory with the players, but the management kind of shaken up with a lot of movement around them. So it's going to be interesting to watch how this actually kind of ends. And then we have Kimi Antonelli. I've said I don't think he's getting his driver's license, but on like drivers, he doesn't get the points to drive in Formula One, I think, this season. But then everybody knows that next season he will be then sprung into it, given the points that he gets. He is a young talent, and they would want to try him immediately. But maybe they give him baby steps. But who will then go to Mercedes for a 1-year deal? It's going to be interesting. They're also, because Mercedes is not fighting for the podiums, right? It's been quite a while that we've seen a Mercedes on a podium, and it's very interesting to see how it kind of ends then. And then eventually we have Yuki Tsunoda and Daniel Ricciardo, who have been hoping for the best for them to actually get the seat when somebody leaves. But then if nobody's leaving, and there is no seat to grab, and I think that's what's happened. Yuki Tsunoda, I think, is the biggest loser in my mind, because Honda is moving away from Red Bull, and they'll be heading to Aston Martin. And Aston Martin, I don't think they're going anywhere with the deals they've signed with the one and only Fernando Alonso, and the son of the owner. He's not going anywhere either, in my opinion. So Yuki Tsunoda might be heading to Alpine, possibly. It kind of rekindles his love for Pierre Gasly, possibly. And then we have Mr. Daniel Ricciardo in the second Visa RB. I think he just sticks around. Liam Lawson gets the second drive, and then we have a New Zealand Aussie driver pairing in RB, and that's what I feel will happen at the end of the season. Yuki Tsunoda will leave, and he will head to Alpine, in my opinion. Haas, on the other side, have choices, and that might actually help Ocon, but that's where he might be headed with Nico, with Kevin Magnussen, I think. Or otherwise, if Carlos Sainz does not take the Audi offer, Ocon might actually already be on his way to Audi. And that's the wrap out right now. But just to kind of go over, Red Bull have completed another piece of their driver market jigsaw by rewarding Sergio Perez with a new 2-year contract for 2025, which begs two questions. Why have they stuck rather than twist? And what does it mean for the rest of the grid? Red Bull stuck with what they know. Perez, who joined Red Bull as Max Verstappen's teammate in 2021, did much of the work to seal a contract renewal in the first 5 races of the season, finishing second 3 times and third once. That wasn't quite the form he delivered at the same last year, where he won 2 of the first 4 races, but the Mexican was doing exactly what Red Bull needed him to do: back up Verstappen and ensure Red Bull were all set to take what they needed. Red Bull needed him to do. Back up Verstappen and ensure Red Bull were all set to defend the Constructors' Championship, which he did really, really well. That wasn't his form tailed off little after the while. The Mexican finishing 4th in Miami, and he couldn't only recover 8th in Imola after missing out on Q3. Then in Monaco, he bumped out in Q1, retired after a first lap crash. Nonetheless, Red Bull believe that he delivers an all-round package they need alongside Verstappen. He has shown decent pace, even if lacking consistency, and has a harmonious relationship with his teammate. Red Bull are still leading the Constructors' Champion, even if the gap is smaller. They would like 24 points, and they return hope that Perez will up his level to the point where they can stay there. The team evaluated informed Carlos Sainz, who was one of those who won one race and taken 3 podiums so far this year, but conversations never accelerated to a point where they got serious. They also decided that despite Yuki Tsunoda's remarkable start to 2024, he wasn't ready to step up to Red Bull, nor was his teammate Daniel Ricciardo or their reserve driver Liam Lawson. With all that in mind, they decided continuity and unity between teammates was the best option, and thus offered Perez an extended stay. A 2-year deal will take Perez through to the end of 2026 with Red Bull, but there are likely to be performance clauses in the deal that could be triggered at the end of next year. So 2025, at the end of it, you could see something happening. But it clearly is the second fiddle that they don't want to rock the boat too much in Red Bull. They want to keep it consistent with the 2 pairings that they know of, Max Verstappen and Mr. Checo Perez. And that's the important thing here, guys. That's in my mind, the important thing, that they don't want to rock the boat. They want to kind of, and we have not seen Perez kind of demanding a better car or saying that he can win the championship. He's just basically said and accepted the number 2 role. And Max Verstappen, he will be like, okay, as long as I don't have to care about him and he needs to care about me, I am good. But as I said, another door shut for Carlos Sainz. That's the main jigsaw that's still kind of open. Where does it fit in? Sainz had hoped that Red Bull would recall him to the family, given his impressive form so far this year. But with that door closed now, and Mercedes not interested either, the Spaniard faces a choice between Williams and Sauber Audi. Both projects offer Sainz stability, the role of team leader, and the opportunity to lead the rebuild of either a former F1 giant or a newbie manufacturer. But both also mean a trip towards the back of the grid and a fight to get points rather than the podiums or wins. Williams are pushing hard to convince Sainz to join Alex Albon in what would be the most impressive lineups on the 2025 grid. If the Spaniard declines, Bottas is believed to be the front runner to get that seat. Like Williams, Sauber Audi are pushing hard to secure Sainz on a multi-year deal alongside Nico Hülkenberg. But if that doesn't work out, leading candidates are believed to be Ocon and RB's Yuki Tsunoda. Elsewhere, Haas will press on with sorting the lineup for 2025 with Ferrari Jr. Ole Behrman. Yes, we have to remember that man who stepped in for Carlos Sainz and did an amazing job and held off Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton to be the youngest Brit to kind of score points. What a man. Ole Behrman expected to get 1 seat, and Valtteri Bottas and Esteban Ocon, the top 2 on the shortlist for the second. Alpine are relaxed about their driver lineup with 1 seat free after they parted ways with Ocon. They are keen to retain Pierre Gasly for next season with reserve Jack Doohan in a strong position to earn promotion. Bottas is also understood to be in contention, while Mick Schumacher, who's racing for Alpine in the WEC, is an outsider for a seat. RB are pondering their lineup with Tsunoda making convincing argument to retain his seat, while Daniel Ricciardo is believed to be in good positions to stay put too. This remains unclear where Liam fits in after Red Bull Motorsport Helmut Marko said he would find him a seat in 2025 after a strong performance standing in for the injured Ricciardo last year. A lot of moving parts here, guys. There's a lot of drama still to kind of follow. And I said, Ole Behrman, Jack Doohan, Liam Lawson, the young boys are still waiting on the side. And there is somebody needs to leave to kind of open the spot here. And I think Logan Sargent is number one who leaves. I think Kevin Magnussen would possibly retire. And Valtteri Bottas is going to be the key puzzle as well, puzzle solver or jigsaw, because he is open to move away from Sauber. He's not going to start playing with the Audi boys. He's going to move away from them. He's going to find a new home. And that's the question. Where does he find the new home? Because we have a lot of jigsaw and puzzles to kind of solve here. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you've kind of have some level of understanding of the different driver market update that's happening in Formula One right now. If you enjoyed this video, thanks for watching, guys. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to wait for more Formula One content coming through from the Canadian Grand Prix. If you've not watched my predictions video, do look at them. If you've not looked at the Canadian Grand Prix race review, the qualifying review, there's a lot of content coming through. So hit the subscribe button, and I hope you will enjoy it. And I see you in the next one.